Israel's Communication Minister Shlomo Karhi has proposed the possible closure of Al Jazeera's local bureau, citing serious accusations of pro-Hamas incitement and endangering Israeli soldiers. The proposal to shut down Al Jazeera has been vetted by Israeli security officials and was being vetted by legal experts too. Al Jazeera and the Qatari government are yet to respond to the grave allegations. Israel's communication minister has also strongly emphasized the station's alleged role as a propaganda mouthpiece, stressing concerns about its impact on national security. He expressed hope for a prompt resolution to this matter. Madhav Nalapat, editorial director of the Sunday Guardian, is live with us on this story. Madhav Nalapat, what do you make of Al Jazeera's proposed closure in Israel?
Is basically supporting Hamas, and that's no surprise. Al Jazeera is funded by the Qatari government. The Qatari government is one of the main funders and facilitators of Hamas. It has been so for a long time. More than 36 top Hamas leaders live in Qatar, in Doha, most of them, and many of them in 5- and 7-star comfort. All this is no secret to the Israeli authorities or to anybody else. As far as India is concerned, Al Jazeera has always been having a very slanted coverage. It has basically created an atmosphere in which Hindus are painted as basically, fanatics, as terrorists, and India as a hateful country where people are just not safe, which is not the situation. At the same time, Al Jazeera has been extremely solicitous towards Pakistan, despite the fact that the minorities in Pakistan are today less than 1%. So Al Jazeera's bias is obvious, it is visible, and anybody who watches Al Jazeera for a little while, as I do, they do it to get the Hamas side of the picture. Now, I think shutting down the bureau of Al Jazeera would be a mistake. It is very obvious Al Jazeera is supporting Hamas. It's very obvious, there's no question about it. I mean, you have people in Canada, for example, who threw parties on the day on Saturday, and then on October 7th. And now they're on the streets demanding that there should be an immediate ceasefire. The Israelis are perfectly right. They will not cease fire until terror is ceased. There's no question about it. They should have woken up to this some time ago. At least they woke up to it now. But having said that, I think it will be a wrong precedent to shut down Al Jazeera, for example, by bombing its Gaza bureau, because Al Jazeera's bias is obvious. And the reality is that hopefully other channels that are more independent will be able to function in Gaza. If Hamas makes it difficult for other channels to function in Gaza and report news independently, well then I think certain, India would be, not India, but Israel, United States, other countries would be very well justified in holding Qatar to account, because Qatar is today the home of, as I said, 36 top Hamas operatives, and none of this could have taken place without the involvement of these operatives. So I do not think it's a good idea to shut down the bureau by force, number one. Number two, don't forget, Uday, that this entire excuse that Hamas has used to launch its terror attack on Israeli innocents, horrible terror attack, and for which Israel is determined to eliminate it, and correctly. The excuse was provided when some people in the extremist fringe of Netanyahu's party basically went to the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and thereafter that created the excuse for Hamas to do what it has done. So I think this is also another extreme view in the Netanyahu government, and I don't think that this is a sensible view. I think it's important that we remember, one, Hamas has to be eliminated, absolutely. Whatever Israel is doing to eliminate Hamas, yes, it has got to be done. But today we are in an info war. And what's important is for Israel and the countries supporting it, including, for example, United States and other countries, to launch an info war of their own and to tell the truth about Hamas atrocities. Hamas has committed untold atrocities on the people of Gaza. What you're seeing happen to Israeli citizens, civilians on October 7th has been happening inside the territory controlled by Hamas for since at least 2007. Hardly anything has been recorded. There's a black hole of information about the torture, cruelty, killing, assault that Hamas has committed on all those people living in Gaza who are basically against this extremist ideology of Hamas. So I think that news needs to come out. There's no question, number one. Number two, media that is neutral needs to operate freely in Gaza, and Hamas had better assure that. But again, I repeat that please don't give another excuse to Hamas to say that it's the victim. And in my personal view, everybody who watches Al Jazeera knows from the first 10 minutes of its coverage what its very biased and slanted view is of India, of Israel, and frankly, United States and other. I think, frankly, when you look at Russia television, you will see the kind of dystopian image of the West that is now being portrayed in Al Jazeera, although a large part of its anchors are from the West. And this is part of the Al Jazeera toolkit. You have Western anchors basically spouting an agenda that in effect supports Hamas. Al Jazeera supports Hamas, that is a fact. But it is obvious, it is visible, it is in your face. And in my personal view, it's a dangerous course to take, were we to shut down media outlets on account of a very clear bias. I think freedom of reportage is important. Every channel should be given freedom to operate in Gaza, including channels that are totally anti-Hamas. And if Hamas has a problem with that, then that problem will need to be dealt with, including by the IDF. But having said that, I think it's a bad idea to shut down Al Jazeera by force. It will only basically further prove the fake narrative that Israel is not a democracy, that Israel is committing atrocities, that Israel is functioning in an extremist and terrorist manner, when Israel is the victim, not the aggressor.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.